to
Talk con nosotras con
Helen y
Steph. Hey guys. Hi.
we're back. We are back.
We are back. En el mundo lleno de un montón de información, we wish to share our truth with you as two Christian bilingual Latinas in New York.
La mayoría de cosas que hablaremos serán basadas en nuestra experiencia, and we invite you to join us on this journey.
Yes. Come along.
Okay, what do we have today for our icebreaker?
Ooh. So I want to know what your favorite song is right now. What are you listening to?
Okay, so lately I've been having this song stuck in my head. It's called, I forgot.
That's why I'm pulling my phone up right now.
It's by Space Soul. That's the name of
Space
the
Soul.
guy.
Okay.
And then the song is Through the Dark. Through the Dark.
Through the fire. No, that's the wrong one.
No, it's not the same. But it's like, I like it because it's like a prayer. And I also like the music is so like relaxing. And I like the song. He's like in trouble. He's like fighting. He's doing this, but he doesn't stop praying. You know, because we believe like he can listen to us. I like this song. How about
I gotta
you?
listen to that one.
I'm gonna share it with you.
Okay, thank you. Mine is Temporary Tears by Need to Breathe. It's a Christian song. It just came out actually like 2 weeks ago. It's really like, it hits hard. Like it's one of those songs where like if you're going through something, or even if you're not, but the vocals are really good, the melody is really nice, and like this is something that can get you through a tough time. But it's also just like, it's like praise. It's a praise song.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a good melody.
We should do like a Talk con nosotras playlist.
Ooh. Oh, I got songs for days.
Yeah. And even if you guys want to share like really nice songs,
yeah, let us know in the comments on Instagram.
And we can add them.
Yeah, be happy to do that.
Okay, good. So today's episode is about
our testimonies. How did we come to Christ? And just like our walks recently, right? And our like the season that we're in and stuff.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about our testimonies de vida. It's like, I know we have like so many testimonies that we would like to share, but today we want to do like the big one, like the one that we believe like, and also like a resume of is that how you say it?
Yeah.
A summary.
A resume is more like your qualifications.
A summary of like our like big testimony. So yeah, who wants to start? No, you go.
Ooh, okay, I can start.
So what do you want to say first?
I mean, I can talk about like my relationship with Christ before and after. Oh, wait, hold on. I can talk about like before being reborn, and then my like being reborn now, so afterwards.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so let's get into it. So I was born and raised Catholic. I got baptized when I was like 1 year old. That was just part of tradition that you do as a Catholic. So yeah, I went to Catholic school my whole life, from kindergarten to 12th grade. So I was familiar with, obviously, like Jesus. I was familiar with, you know, the commandments, and I think what was different was that we had like religion class where we had textbooks, and we were taught the crucifixion. We were taught about not too much about the disciples. That was a short chapter. But it was just very like historical. It wasn't like, it was like another subject. It wasn't like, here's the Bible. You can have a relationship with Christ. Like those values like weren't taught to us. So I finished school. I went to college, lived my best life, all up and down. Just a very like
Living la vida
worldly
loca.
life, literally like very worldly life. I was introduced to sex, drugs, alcohol, all you can think of from like freshman year is when I started like, dabbling. My mom was very strict. I grew up in a very strict household. So once I left to college, like it was party time. I had all this freedom. So I was exploring and I was just in everything. And then I graduated. I started working as a teacher full time when I was 22. And then at 24 was when I got diagnosed with autoimmune hepatitis. And that is a autoimmune disease that affects your liver. So at first, like, I was kind of numb to it because I had like small symptoms, like I would get bloated and sometimes lo pie mío estaba hinchada. ¿Hinchada?
Inflamada.
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 It's inflamada. It's not hinchada.
No, you can say hinchada.
I
Pero
could.
el término es se te inflamaron los pies.
Okay, the proper term, yes. So that was happening, and then so I got diagnosed. It was a very dramatic episode. I had gone to a friend's engagement party, and it was an open bar. I had drank a lot, and the next day I was extremely hungover. And out of nowhere, like I started throwing up blood. It was very traumatic, and I kind of like spaced out. And this was God, because my mom wasn't supposed to come home. I was living at home at the time. My mom wasn't supposed to come home until 5, and she had come home at 3 for some reason, and it was literally right after that happened. So I had I had fainted, but like not really, because I was still conscious. And obviously we called the ambulance. I was in the hospital for about a week, and they were taking tests, and they figured out that's what I had, autoimmune hepatitis. So they put me on medication. The first 2 years was like normal in a way, because now I was able to regulate with the meds what was going on. But then when I was 26 was when it got very severe. So
after 2 years that you were
diagnosed. So when I had moved away, I moved away to Queens on my own at Roosevelt Island. Great time. But at this point, I was getting a lot of surgical procedures every month because I would get fluid.
in your stomach.
Yeah, I would get fluid in my stomach based on like eating. Honestly, it varied, but I think most of it was because of what I ate. Like if I wanted comfort food, I was very limited to what I could eat. So it was at that point, and I got really skinny. My body couldn't hold muscle or any fat anymore. So that was when I got on the transplant list, the liver transplant list, in the summertime.
Wait, so since day one that you got diagnosed, you knew that you needed a transplant?
So she told me like about 10 years from now, you're going to need a transplant. But 10 years became 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And mind you, again, this is all before Christ, by the way, guys. I'm getting to where I meet Christ. But I was still drinking. I was still, yeah.
Maybe that's why it went from 10 to 2.
I'm telling you, like I was out here, like I was outside. And yeah, I think about that all the time. I'm like, I probably sped this up because I was in denial. That's what it was.
Because you didn't see any sign.
I felt fine. I looked fine. Like energy level was okay. But then it like hit me like boom, like a train. Like I was like,
your body couldn't hold it.
It couldn't hold it anymore. No.
Crazy.
Yeah. So how I came to Christ. So I was home one day, and I had an encounter. I literally broke down because there was certain things that were going on at the time that
Like,
don't really go into
no,
I
but
did
like you
some
can say
things.
general, like friendships, relationship, like everything was going like money was like.
Um, Money, I mean, I was working two jobs at the time.
Mhm.
I was this was during around like right after COVID, still during COVID, like 2021. So COVID was like a year before. So things were still kind of closed. I was working from home. So um I was working the teacher job, and then I was a waitress. I was a server. So I was working those two. Um and at one point I did something really desperate for money that I don't really want to get into. Um, and it turned out that the money was fake. So I did something for money and it was fake. And I was like so hurt and heartbroken because I was so mad at myself for doing something that low to not get anything out of it. So it was that day that like I broke down. I was crying. I was just so angry at myself and ashamed. And I wrote down like all of the things that I could remember that I've done. Um, and I said like, I need you, Lord. I can't do this without you anymore. You know, I need a friend. I need someone who can love me and care for me and protect me. And I know there's no one in the world other than you that can do that. So I started going to a church during this time near my house for about a year. So I was getting familiar with a new church. I was getting familiar a Christian church rather, because I was Catholic and then I transitioned into Christianity.
Wait, and how do you find out about that church?
So my mom was looking for a relationship. And I can't tell you it was because what like my sickness, but I feel like it was a part of that. She wouldn't like come out and say it, but I think part of it was that. Part of it was just life that was happening at the time. So she knew she needed something more, and she started watching like sermons online. And then she started looking for churches nearby and that's how I found the church that I'm in today, which I love that church, and
The church that we go.
that's how we met.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to the encounter. So that's how over time I knew that a relationship with Jesus was something that I can have and was available to everyone. I was like, let me call on the Lord because it's time. It's just time. I can't do this anymore by myself. I can't rely on myself. And I knew he was a great healer. I knew he was, the ultimate. He was the one who would be the one to give me a new liver. So I just, from then on, I sacrificed my life. 6 months later or so, 4 or 5 months later, I got baptized. The rest is history. It's been the best decision of my life. Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you, so you were going to church and then you have this like meltdown, like you just said that, but like, do you feel like that would have happened if you were going to church or no?
I don't know. I don't. I think it might have. No, I don't know.
Like, imagine like what would have happened if you like weren't talking to God, like getting closer to Him at that moment in your life, like.
I don't think it would have happened. I think so. It's only me and my mom, so we have a very strong relationship. So I think eventually, because she had been trying to get me to go to the church for a while, I didn't go right away. I was like, because I grew up in such a strict upbringing, I didn't like to listen. I was like, what is it? What's in it for me? I don't want to listen to you. I'm an adult now. I can do what I want. So like I was kind of acting like that, which is immature, guys. So yeah, it being sick was really what, not even the church. It was being me being me. It was a suffering that I was going through. Um, and because I had already known about the Lord, I grew up I knew about Jesus. I knew that he's someone you could lean on. So I think eventually it would have happened, but me being sick was really like, there was nowhere else for me to go. Yeah,
I feel like God works like that way.
exactly.
Like you're saying you were like stubborn, you didn't want to listen, and he was like, you know what? You're gonna listen. I'm gonna make you listen. And it can sound cruel, but like you think exactly like now I ask you like, was it good or bad that you got sick?
It was a blessing. I wouldn't trade it. I don't regret it. Obviously when you go through it, you question why. But I also knew like something inside me, and this was the Holy Spirit eventually that I realized this, but I knew I wasn't gonna be sick for a long time. I knew it was like, yeah. I at some point up in my like journey of, having that disease, I knew that this is gonna be temporary. People were telling me it was gonna be temporary because I think I've also figured out that the way God speaks to me is through other people, through repetition and through other people. So people were like, this is not gonna last long. God is gonna heal you, and He's gonna use you to tell other people and to use you to.
So wait, so you said that you felt like this is not gonna be forever, like this is gonna be just a little bit. You felt that.
Yeah, I felt that. Yeah, like it was more of like a peace that I felt, because I knew that God is gonna give me a family. I'm gonna live a long life. Like I don't need to worry about it.
Oh, qué bonito.
Yeah.
I like that feeling.
Yes.
It's like He talks to us through feelings, right? It's like
feeling, and like for me, like I don't know if you spoke about this before, but like I feel like warm. This is when I feel the presence of God though, which is different than when we like hear. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's different. Having the presence of God, hearing Him is different. So yeah. He said He was gonna use me. And yeah, I had peace.
And
then the transplant came, and here we are.
So now tell us a little bit about the transplant. Like you were on a list, and then.
Yeah, so I was on the list for about, actually not even 2 years. No, that's a lie. I was on it for 2 years. So I got on it 2021 of August, and it was not until, and mind you, so I volunteer for this organization. It's a transplant organ donation. It's an organ donation awareness organization. That's a tongue twister. But it's based in New York, and because New York is the biggest state, it has the largest amount of people waiting for a transplant. Because think about it, like there's more people in New York. New York City, there's 8 million people alone. So we have the highest amount of people on the wait list. To the point where people have to they have to seek donation in other states. The person that I actually volunteered today, so the person that I was volunteering with, he got a liver as well 10 years ago. I was like, oh, I got it 10 months ago. So we were using that the whole day, like talking to people, like 10 years, 10 months. So that was cool. But he had to go to Brazil because he had family there. He has family everywhere. Like he was like, I have family in France, Spain, Portugal. He went to all those countries in Europe, couldn't get a liver. He had to go to it wasn't until Brazil where he finally got the liver. Mind you, and I don't want to tell, well, we don't have to say his name, but like when he got the liver, 6 months later, it was like his body was rejecting it. But they had to keep him there for like a few months and give him like a new set of medication. Like he had to basically like, go on like a trial period, and it ended up working out. And he's had the same liver for 10 years now. He's fine, and he works in fashion. He's very fabulous.
Wow. Did that happen to you with your liver? Like,
gracias a Dios, no.
So 10 months in?
Yes. So I'll say the story of how I got it. So it was a miracle. And again, this was Jesus working. The Lord was orchestrating everything. So I was on the list for 2 years, and then in November, this was like the end of November, almost December. Um, a I kind of knew them. I knew the sister of this person. So someone had passed away, unfortunately, very suddenly around Thanksgiving time. And I knew this person's sister. So when the doctor asked her, "Do you want to donate any of these organs?" Um, and this is a story that I love to say because this is again the Holy Spirit working. She told me that this wasn't her speaking, because she knew I needed a liver, but like, this is a traumatic time. Like, you're not gonna just instantly remember, like she probably heard that I needed one like years ago, because at this point it's been 3 years since my diagnosis. So she was like, it wasn't me, but I said your name. I said Stephanie needs this.
Dios.
Yeah, 100%. And lo and behold, I called my surgical team, my doctors, the whole everybody. It was like 10 at night. They picked up. They're like, "What happened?" Like, I was like, "Okay, so I might have a liver. We have to get you in contact with the social worker in the other hospital, to like, see if we can do this." And she was like, "Wow, this actually hasn't been done before." Like, not that it hasn't been done before, but she hasn't done this before, like in her experience of being a nurse practitioner. So yeah, in 3 days they tested it. It was a match, and it's really hard. So I actually learned this today.
That's crazy.
I learned this today that for a liver to be 100% match, it's a very low percentage.
Se me aguan los ojos. It's like, how?
Ugh.
It's God.
Yes. Because you have to have the right blood type, you have to have the right sizing, you have to have the right. It's just so many things. It's not a one size fits all. It's very specific, very intricate. And she told me that she was like, "Don't get your hopes up," because
they do that on
purpose. They have to say that. She's like, sometimes this happens a lot, but so it might not go through, it might not be a match, but just to let you know.
What she didn't know
is that I serve a bountiful, merciful, all-powerful God.
Yeah. El Dios del imposible.
Exactly. And that's it. In 3 days, he was like, "I saw the liver. It's beautiful. It's so purple and healthy. It's perfect." I was like, "Oh my God." And then he asked me, like, "So do you want it?" I was like, "Of course," because he has to ask. I'm like, "Duh." Yeah, give it to me. Hello. Put it in.
Open my chest. Open me.
Yo, and my liver was so gross looking.
You saw it?
Yeah, I told him to take a picture.
I want to see it.
Oh my, you want to see it right now?
Yeah.
Dude. It's crazy. It looks like I used to drink every day for my whole entire life. This was the new one that I got.
Wow. Yeah. Healthy.
It's nice, right?
Nice.
Look at mine. It was really small. Livers are not supposed to be small. Mine shrunk.
Right. Because it have to fit like
the whole entire thing. It was like shrinking, and look at the holes. I had holes. All this brown.
The balls.
Yeah, that was the cirrhosis. The cirrhosis makes it look like that, all the bumps and stuff, and it was like a dark. Oh, it was just crazy.
That was inside you.
Yeah, and it's funny because I used to like study when I didn't have like the big stomach full of liquid. Like, I would like try to feel, and I could feel the bumps. I could feel it.
It's crazy. Girl, you were dying.
No, straight up. Like, my mortality rate was like 50%.
No.
Yeah.
I have a confession. I used to get sad thinking that you were gonna die at any moment.
Really? Did I look that crazy? Not crazy, but like sickly.
Like, you were almost in your bones.
I was very small.
Like, skinny.
I was really depressed.
And then
I wasn't used to looking like that. I'm used to looking like this.
So sometimes those will come to my mind, like, why did she die? So I don't know, like, I will text you like anytime I remember you. It was like, but I didn't want it to be intense too. It was like, what do you say? What, like, it was.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's hard. It's not funny. It's hard for the people that is around you, like,
I know.
and we don't want to be like, but like it's hard for us too.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard and it's crazy because like I went through a lot of like I lost a lot of friends, believe it or not, when I was sick. You would think people would like come to you more,
No,
but
that's when you know who
that's when you figure things out. Yeah.
quién es quién.
Yep.
Sí,
I
sí.
learned a lot. So, but God does that too. He shows you who people are. He shows you their true colors in the times where you need them, and you're like, damn. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Maybe
So-
that was supposed to happen.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. I had to be at a really low point for my true friends to reveal themselves.
yeah. And as I said before, like, it's a cycle. Like, they were part of your life at that moment.
Yes. Yeah.
They are not supposed to be now.
It's kind of conflicting. I don't think so.
You don't feel it like that?
No, I agree. I'm saying like if it was still to continue, it wouldn't really like,
Exactly.
because when you find God, God separates you
Mm-hmm.
from the masses. So
Yeah.
you learn to be okay with it. Feel like it doesn't feel like you're missing anything, to be honest.
So today, the present,
Mm-hmm.
you look back and you look now, like, who is Stephanie now? Like what's the la conclusión de este testimonio?
Yes. So wrapping all this together, I finally know who I am. Like I'm finally comfortable. So I feel like prior to Christ, like I was always trying to fit in, and I never fit in. Like there was something that was always missing. Like I would be seeking acceptance and assurance in people, but people let you down. Like that's just life. And I didn't understand that, and I would get really like hurt and sad, and like, and then I realized like God is the only one who can love you unconditionally 100%. Like you're not even your parents. I mean, obviously they do the best they can, and I'm grateful to have a mom that she'll do anything for me. But all of that energy and all of that need that you seek it in the kingdom. And I feel like knowing that now, like I'm not as anxious, I'm not as like I'm still a more sensitive person. That's just me. Like I'm very emotionally like intuitive, and just like I feel things a little bit deeply than others, but I see that as a strength now. I feel like before, being around people that were very strong willed, I felt like it was a weakness that I had. But like now I'm confident that God made me a way for a reason. And I'm just more comfortable in my identity. Like, not saying that I have it 100% figured out, because I don't. But I know now that while I figure it out, God is with me and God is guiding me, and I'm not alone.
Amen. And He's also using you. You're a testimony. Like,
Yeah.
you're a miracle.
Yeah.
You are a miracle.
Mm-hmm. Praise the Lord.
He's awesome. He's great.
Yes, He is. All the time. God is good. So what about you? Let's hear your story.
No es tan great like yours. Pero no, él tiene sus maneras.
Exactly.
Right? He's, I don't know. We're talking about like our journey with God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for me, started very early. My mom, she was in the church when she was little, and then she left the church. Then my sister kind of went through like a bad moment in her life, so my mom came back to church to save to save her daughter, to save my sister, and it worked. And then we started all going to church, and I was 7. So it's basically, I feel like I was born in the church because that's all I remember. Like I was 6, 7, I was a kid. So yeah, all my memories are from that time, like going to church, singing, going to the kids class, going to camporees, like camping, like with the Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Like,
I just learned what that was recently.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I was one of those. I still am in my heart. Like, you cannot erase that from yourself.
It's
like,
part of just your childhood. That was your childhood. Yeah.
And believe it or not, like, it molds you. Like, it makes you like, because we serve a lot, we learn new things. So that's kind of who I am now. Like, I like to serve, I like to help, I like to, when I have the time.
Yeah, you're a busy woman, girl. I don't know how you do.
I'm gonna cry. Let's don't talk about that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, and I got baptized when I was 9. So they do like this, La Fe de Jesús.
Sí.
So we did that. And then they asked you like, do you want to get baptized? And I was like, I remember the feeling like, I love Jesus. Like, yes, I wanna do this. Like, it's funny because they wait until at age that you're
able to make your own firm decisions.
So yeah, I took my decision and I said yes. We were like a group of kids getting baptized. That was amazing. I like it. So yeah, then I grew up in the church. Going all the way up to college is when I started like struggling, because I didn't feel that I fit anymore in my church. I felt a little bit.
How did you what was the disconnect?
I don't know, because I like some things that they used to say that they were bad. You know.
Can you say what those things were?
Like, I love dancing and you cannot dance
a certain way, or like just dancing?
Just dancing. Like, at church we couldn't like clap, things like
very legalistic things.
Yeah, and I was like, like, you know, it's something like where in the Bible, like,
right? No, that's valid. Like, where does it say that? Let me know.
Yeah. So also like the way that we dress, like women's and pants, things like that. A lot of things. Like, it's a long list. With right now it doesn't matter, but at the moment I was like very conflicted inside my head, like all the time, like why? Right. And it's painful because I love God, I love my church, I love everything that we do, like, you know, like.
And you're coming into your identity a little bit more. Like, you're getting older, you have questions, you're leaving home, so all these things come to your mind. Like, you're making your own type of mentality and perception to things that you grew up with. So you were like, yeah, you have questions now.
And also the earrings part, you're not allowed to. But I had the
you had the piercing.
I had it, so I used to like put earrings in my ears escondidas. Like in my house. My sister earring, like I always liked it, and it was like, this is a secret, this is a sin. I have to do this inside. Like, and my mom, I was like, mommy, look, and my mom was like, and she wasn't like, don't do it, but she didn't like it, and I was like, whatever. I was always like,
yeah, of course.
But like, you could, like, I would be scared to go outside and somebody from church see me with earrings. Because they were gonna think that I was, ya no está en la iglesia, se salió de la iglesia.
Judgment. It was a lot of judgment.
Yeah.
People go through that a lot.
But they learned that, you know?
That's
Eso ya viene de generaciones atrás.
Right. It's tradition. I mean, tradition. Same in my church too.
Tradition. It's more tradition than whatever.
Jesus wasn't like that though.
Yeah. So all of that, like, when I moved to college and then I started, like, you're alone, you're by yourself. It's funny because you will think like, oh, she went crazy, and I did not.
She didn't pull a me.
I did not. I got depressed instead. because what is that? How is it called?
Like, oh, you just go like that.
But it has a name.
Tiny violin.
Really?
Yeah.
It's from SpongeBob, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
En español es like el violín más pequeño del mundo.
Oh, the tiniest violin in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, you can say that too. You can say that too. Because literally it's like.
We're gonna do this anytime. Like.
Yeah, I know. Oh, let's do that.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, so I was there's too many things happen at that moment. But one of the main things, like, I was alone, lonely, and then I used to like go to church, and I never stopped going to church. That's crazy because nobody's like pushing you anymore, and then I know what I believe on, but like there were like certain things that they make me feel like fully 100% like happy in my church, you know. I believe in God. I love Him. I prayed, but I didn't fit anymore. So I used to go back for vacations, for breaks, and then I didn't fit there. I didn't fit here, and then it was like I started to feel like I didn't fit.
Can I ask, like, why did you feel like you didn't fit in your school?
Not in my school. I like my school.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. I was studying veterinary at that moment. Like that was my dream. That was my dream.
Can it still be, or
no?
At all?
I don't feel like that's my calling.
Got it. Another episode.
Yes, another episode. So yeah. So, and then I got a boyfriend. Boyfriend, no boyfriend.
That changes things.
Because he was a really good guy, but I was kind of in love, but like the only thing that was in my mind is like, oh, he's not in the name of your religion, you know?
The same denomination.
Yeah, we were in the same denomination, and then I kind of told my mom. She was like, oh no, he's not. He's not belongs to the church. You cannot be with him. And I was like, you know, it's like a trauma, like.
Of course.
And then I felt like restringida was the word.
Restricted. I mean, you already lived and grew up with restrictions, and so now you have to restrict your love. And like was this your first love?
Kind of, yeah.
So on top of that, it's like you feel like nothing you do is right, almost. Yeah. Did you feel like?
And then I just see this guy. He's the nicest. He treats me well. He doesn't ask for like, nothing bad. Like it was so sweet, right? And then I never gave him like supuesto.
Como...
Nunca lo hice sentir. I never made him feel like he was.
Oh, he was secure. Okay.
And then because at the church, if you get with somebody it's not your religion, they will erase your name from the church. So it's everything about fear here, you know. So
not all churches are like this, by the way, guys.
And no, like I don't want to be like shady with them.
No, but that was your experience, so that you can talk about it.
Yeah, that's how I felt, right?
Yeah.
So, and then he broke up with me. I mean, we weren't like official, but like he's like, bye. He waited there for like a while, like it was a long time, and I kept him secret all the time. Like nobody knew about him, just like my really closest friend. So that made him feel like bad, and he just lost interest, and then I felt bad, mostly because the way that I made him feel.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't like you didn't make him feel secure, so
Yeah. So all of those things, like I felt like I didn't fit in the church, then me making feel this person this way, and then me feeling alone again because he wasn't there anymore, like a good person. It wasn't toxic in any way. It wasn't dependence. No, it was like truly a nice relationship.
Yeah.
And then after that it got worse, my depression. Like I remember going to church, coming back home, going to sleep, and then wake up the next day. Like I used to go to bed like 2-3 p.m. and wake up the next day like 10 a.m.
Whoa. That's a long time.
That's the way that I used to express, like the way that I was feeling, like my body would shut down for hours.
That's it. Yeah,
Crazy.
that was a sign something was wrong.
So then I always knew, like, I started to feel like I have to leave, I have to go away, like I have to. And then I was sitting in my class, one of my closest friends, I love her. She comes with a like a brochure,
And brochure.
and then she put it on my seat.
Oh my gosh, I told my mom this story.
Really?
She was like, she's like, I love those stories. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and then I see it, and it's like, become an au pair, come to the US, and then learn English. You know, like I used to get 5. So so in Colombia, it's not from 1 to 10. The grades is from 1 to 5.
Oh, grades. Okay. I'm thinking like, okay.
Yeah. So I used to get
different.
like English wasn't like my thing the whole time. But like I didn't speak English because
Right. Who are you gonna speak it to? Yeah.
you don't get to practice. You don't get to like
Yeah.
hacerlo profundamente.
Right.
So it's like, y ella me dijo, que aquí estás tú. Aquí estás tú pinta. This is you. And I'm like, who gave you this? And she's like, there were these girls outside, están repartiéndolos, like, y yo, ¿qué? ¿Dónde? Y ella, que ve antes de que se vayan. And salí del salón, and they weren't there anymore. It's like,
angels.
where are they?
They were angels. I'm convinced.
So it's crazy because you would believe like I can, and it was like azúcar, flores y muchos sabores. No, yeah. It was like those 2 years were horrible, like as an au pair. So COVID hit it. I was alone. I got depressed again. But I was like, this have to be like, it's a purpose here. Like I believe like this is not the end. This is just a moment. Like I have to keep going. Like I'm not gonna go in detail like about those 2 years, but they were awful because the families that are in this program for au pairs, they
can take advantage.
Yeah, it's like modern slavery type of thing.
100%.
Like they take advantage of you, and then you live there. You have nowhere to go. You have no family here, and then it's like, and I mean, my case is not that bad, but like I heard really bad things,
dark stories. Yeah.
Like you can, whatever.
You
raise
can
your hand.
Yeah, you can see this online. I'm sure a lot of people talk about this.
Yeah.
It's not.
And if you want to hear like, you have the comments for the au pairs, and then just like,
drop in, yeah, because
it's bad.
Shouldn't go through that. We're all humans. We all are in this earth. Everybody has a purpose here. We should treat each other with respect, like minimal.
Yeah, we didn't get that much. And then people from Colombia is like, oh, she's living her best life. She's like, and then I started, like, people stopped talking to me, and I was depressed, so I wouldn't like go to people and talk to them.
Right.
So you start like, I did have friends, but then I didn't have
friends from Colombia.
Yeah, because here it was COVID. Like I didn't have that many friends. After like a year, I started making friends. I started going out, but then during those 2 years, I never found a church. Never. I lived I did, but at the end of the 2 years. So I lived in Connecticut for a year. I couldn't find any church. And then I moved to Massachusetts, and then by like the end, I found a church, and that's when things started like getting better. If you wanna find a church in Massachusetts, just write it down here, and then I'll let you know. It's a really, really nice church. And then I started like having friends, but then the thing with the family went bad, and then my term with them was ending too. So that was like, I was just struggling. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I don't like, even though I wasn't having like a great time here, I didn't want it to go back.
Right.
Because
the program is only for 2 years?
Only for 2 years.
Oh, that's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
To choose your next move. How did you like go through that? What guided you, or like how did like what did you know? What did you do next, rather? Like what did you do next to
Yeah.
try to stay here?
So, student visa was like,
Got it.
so I applied for like tourist visa so we do kind of like jump between visas just to like alargar tu tiempo aquí.
I see. I'm thinking of, and this is not the same thing, but I'm thinking of like college athletes. For them to continue to play, they go to different schools. Even though they've been in school for like 8 years, they want to keep playing. So they'll go to different schools.
That's me. That's me.
They'll go to the different countries también para continuar you know, yeah,
Su carrera.
su carrera en
I didn't know that.
baloncesto, sí. It's very common.
Well, we do that, but with the visas, like the only thing you want to do is like stay legal all the time. You have to be legal no matter what. In my mind, that's what you're supposed to
Yeah.
do.
And it's so, I mean, don't get me started on how hard it is in the US just to get citizenship. People are here for 20 years and, they're not able to. There's so many restrictions. It's disgusting.
It's hard. It's hard because, anyways, we can talk about that.
Yeah, but let's go back to the.
And then, after I jump into the tourist visa to start making like plans for the student visa.
Yeah.
And then I found this family that I started working for them. Amazing. Like everything from them went up.
Imagine if you would have quit and went back home and didn't.
No.
This wouldn't be here, obviously.
No, we wouldn't be here.
No.
So yeah, after that family, everything like they treat me. That was the first time that I was treated like a real member of the family. Because that's what they sell in the program, like your host family, you're gonna be part of the family, you're gonna la.
Yeah, it depends on the people. It solely depends on the person.
So this family was out of the program, and then from that I started like gaining weight. Like I used to be like very skinny because I was depressed, like I wouldn't eat. I started gaining weight, I started rollerblading, I started playing my ukulele again. And then I found that was when I moved to New York with Chester. Entonces, I found the church. Yeah, so
the church in New York that we both go to, got it.
That one. And then
that one.
The same one.
And
then,
like, which one is it? I wanna go.
Yeah, and then I started like having like how do you say, like I have this dream of living in the city. Because I wasn't living in the city, I was living in Westchester.
Yeah.
It's like an hour away from the city.
And you was here all the time, girl.
I used to come every weekend for
church. She lives in Westchester, doesn't feel like it. He was out here.
That's why like I would spend a lot of time here in the city. So then I started like, okay, working on my student visa. I got I saved money. I was my own sponsor, Like most of the people, they need to find people. Like I saved the money, me, myself, and I, to be my own sponsor for my student visa. Like that's not easy.
No, especially what they pay you. Jesus Christ.
It's so bad. And then when I told the family, that was like so bad because
they were a good family.
We loved each other. Like they're still being like a really good family for me. Like I would go up there and just hang out with my kids and stuff. I love them. But yeah, that was like the first time they like gringos showed me love. Because I used to find people in the church that they were like, it's always the Latino community that makes you feel like. But then I found this
be like that.
White people treating me like really well, like, oh, maybe they're not that bad. No, all of them are like that.
No shade. But... yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, then I found the church, like the pastor are so cool, and then I go and then like people with earrings, women's wearing pants. There's a woman pastor, and I was like, what is going on
Mind
here?
blowing.
It's like una pastora,
Africana.
Afroamericana, like
Afro-Americana.
like, and then they wear earrings, and I like that's not a big deal here. And then you can go to church in pants, and then they don't care what you do; they just care about who you are.
Right. You look at the person, not what they do, not the person's actions. And that's really important, especially to new visitors, to people. The point of the gospel is to get people to come to Christ. If there's so many rules that, first of all, Jesus didn't even pronounce, like he didn't put out there, like that wasn't his purpose, then how do you expect people to come to Christ, and people who are unfamiliar with the faith to get familiar with the faith? They don't feel comfortable. At the end of the day, we're a community. And if there's a community that's not welcoming, why would I go there?
Yeah.
And I felt the same way too. I didn't see, there was no type of like, there wasn't, not once that I ever felt like looked at a certain way. Obviously there's, you dress accordingly. Like,
Yeah.
you know what to do. You know how to dress. You know if you want to
we
get
know.
Yeah, like if you want people to look at you, you know what you want to wear, but you don't do that because you're in the presence of God. So
Yeah.
there's a respect level, obviously. But anyways, so that makes a big difference.
So yeah, I come from like a church with this like, if you wanna be here, if you want your name to be here, you have to do this, and they give you this place that just make you feel like, and then you find this church that is like
come on down.
Yeah, they're like, you never hear any type of comment about physical appearance. You never hear like nothing. It's like they really do practice what Jesus did. We are like Jesus followers in this church, because Jesus wouldn't be like, oh, this guy, he's like, no, I shouldn't be there. Oh, this girl, like, look at her, nobody goes closer to her. Like,
it's all up and down in the Bible. Like, literally just open up one of the Gospels, and like, clear as day, Jesus sat with sinners. He sat with robbers, thieves,
because he knew
idolizers, like people who did idolatry and everything. Like, yeah, people like that need Jesus.
Yeah.
So why would I go away? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So yeah, and then I found this church, and I'm like, I spend a lot of time in the city. I want to go to this church, and then I told the family like, I want to move to the city, la la la, and then I found my friends, like my roommates, like, let's rent an apartment, let's do this. And then I had everything again. I have my credit score, I have my savings, I have everything, because you can expect God to give you something. Like, God, I want this, but you don't save money, but you're disorganized with your money. You can't move a parked car. Exactly. So, you, like, la moraleja aquí is do your part, pray, and He'll do His part. That's what I did all this year. Like, I suffered, but I knew something good was coming. And it's like, for some people it's not a big deal, but like, I got an apartment. They saw my score.
Perfect apartment, by the way.
Yeah, we're here. This is it. And then we rented it. We've been here for a year, and going, like, our landlord is like, you can stay here as long as you want. Like,
beautiful. Thank you, Lord.
So God is great. He is amazing. Like, I go back to everything that I've been through. Like, it's been hard. I knew what depression was, and nobody helped me, just Him. He was the only one there. Like, people, like, the same that happened to you, they will forget about you. But He didn't. He didn't give up on me. So yeah, now I'm like living one of my dreams, like being independent in the city, in my own apartment, having a job that I really like, with people that, like, that's another story. Like, my new bosses, they're like amazing.
Heaven sent.
And it cost me like that's another testimony, because I was looking for like a job that fits certain characteristics, and I couldn't find it. And I was like, when I want something, I used to get like, okay, you get this because you have to when you're an au pair. But I said like, not anymore. Like I'm gonna get what I deserve and what I need, and that's what I found. Like I found an amazing family. I'm still working for them. Like guys, I love you. I know you're gonna see this.
Aww.
And that is God. Like God put them in there, like at the exact moment, right time.
Everything in His timing.
Everything. And
Everything.
then
You just have to trust.
Yeah.
And let Him do it. Like there's a certain level of control that you have to release when you follow God.
Yeah.
You can't control things anymore. But there is some control that you have, like you said. You have to save, you have to poner de tu parte, you have to be disciplined, like you have to pray, you have to let Him in, you have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's another part, but God does that. He transforms you, so He meets you where you are. You don't have to change anything about yourself in order to come to Christ.
Yeah.
That's a very big misconception that a lot of people have. They feel like they have to be holier, they got to stop all their, bad habits. That's not the case. Like, He does that for you. He does it for you, and that's it.
So that's my testimony.
Yeah.
I feel like we should do like maybe 6 months from now, like an update.
Like new test, like
Yeah.
season update.
Or maybe like we could do like
yeah, because I'm going through a little transition season. So.
Me too. It's like I'll tell you like the apartment part because that was like one of my dreams, but now no, I'm not gonna say it. We're gonna
talk about it later. Yes. Yeah.
Because we're going through.
Yeah, it's still, we gotta let God work, so we gotta keep it under wraps for sure.
But yeah, it never stops. That's another thing. It never stops. Like
it doesn't stop.
Like I'm not gonna say the struggle, but like la Biblia lo dice. Like en el mundo tendréis aflicciones, pero yo he vencido el mundo. You can read it in English. I have it here. I sent it to my sister.
Okay. John 16:33. In the world you will have tribulations, but take heart, I have overcome the world. I know that one.
Amen. So yeah, like
take heart.
There is always a new challenge. Like take heart, hold on to Him, and keep it going.
And the last thing I'm gonna say, even with that verse, is like I like to pay attention to like the verbs, and like you see how it says like I have overcome. It's plain, like I've done it already.
It's done.
It's done. It's not I'm overcoming the world. I have overcome. So I like to pay attention to those things because it's another just like assurance that it's done. Like I've done it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So. En español es yo he vencido el mundo. Él ganó la batalla. Está vencido. Like whatever it is, don't worry. It's done. Like
it's done.
Él ya ganó. Está en sus manos. Él ganó la medalla. Es tuyo. Ahora nos toca a nosotros hacer nuestra parte.
Right. Yeah, girl.
And this is the end.
And that's it. Thank you guys.
Thank you
for tuning in this week. Don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, your family, church friends, non-church friends, whoever. Please share this.
So we have Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok.
Yeah, we just made a TikTok, Talk con Nosotras.
So we're gonna put all the links down here.
Yeah. Oh, and if you have any prayer requests, please leave them in the comments below. Send us a DM, whatever you feel up to doing. We'd like to pray for you.
So yeah, this is the end. Remember, we don't talk about things that we haven't experienced.
No tenemos verdad absoluta. It's okay to disagree with us.
Y que Dios nos bendiga.
See you next time. Ciao. God loves you.